All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to tell all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as we are simply sharing our passions with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. We definitely wanted to give a quick shout out to both teams in the Super Bowl between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. First off, to the 49ers roster, you guys are a talented, stacked roster. You know, we are Cowboys fans, and we're hoping to get to you guys' level. I know that minus the Super Bowl wins, you guys have been a model of success for a very long time, and it was a very heartbreaking loss for you all. And of course, the Cowboys have to go through San Francisco in order to get to our goals. So on the San Francisco 49ers, the team and the city of San Francisco, again, we know it was a very heartbreaking loss, but nothing to hang your head about. The Kansas City Chiefs, congratulations on the third Super Bowl win. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of this era, and it's not that close. I'm going to say it again. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of this era, and it's not even close. And we stated this, and we're going to stand on this statement. If Patrick Mahomes wins 5 Super Bowl rings, and right now he's at 3, if he gets 2 more, we would take him in the GOAT over Tom Brady. Yes, we said it. With what he has accomplished already so far, honestly, there's no reason to think he could even get 7 or 8 rings. But again, you know, football, things can happen. You know, he can break his leg and never play again. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. We're not trying to speak into existence, but this is the NFL, and anything can happen. Right now, at this stage, I believe he's 28 years old. What he has accomplished so far is truly remarkable. And this guy, with pretty much less talent on the offensive side, willing his team to win, better defensive talent, making plays, going on the road at Buffalo, on the road to Baltimore, and beating a San Francisco 49ers team, and they were underdogs in all 3 of those games. So this guy, Patrick Mahomes, is the truth. No question about that. Again, if he were to get 2 more Super Bowls and never plays another down of football, and again, continuing to achieve MVPs and Super Bowl MVPs, we would take him as the greatest over Tom Brady. Now, when folks say, well, he would have less rings than Brady, so how is he the GOAT? Well, Michael Jordan is considered the greatest basketball player of all time, but he has 6 championships to Bill Russell's 11. So we can toss that argument out the window. But definitely want to give the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid, who's a longtime Cowboy, you know, spanker. He should just dominate the Cowboys when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're happy for Andy Reid. Definitely Patrick Mahomes. Excellent job. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's been a pleasure to watch you in your career. And folks, to really put in perspective how dominant this man has been, do you know every year he's been let me phrase that. For every year he's been a starter, remember he sat for 1 year. For every year that he's been a starter, do you know he's been at least to the AFC Championship game? Every year he's been a starter, he's been to at least an AFC Championship game. And no reason to think things are going to change. Even though the AFC has the better quarterback talent from top to bottom with him and Lamar and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. It's just a bunch. Take Aaron Rodgers. Deshaun Watson. Hopefully it works out in Cleveland. But Russell Wilson in Denver. So clearly the AFC has a better top to bottom quarterbacks, but nobody compares to this guy, especially in the postseason. Also, his three postseason losses was in 1 Super Bowl and an AFC Championship game. Let that sink in. His three playoff losses, 1 Super Bowl and two AFC Championship games. Truly, truly amazing. But you know, Dallas Cowboys fans, we are a Dallas Cowboys show, and we definitely wanted to touch on this. Now, bear with us as we express our frustration, our tired of the nonsense. The Dallas Cowboys, again, a team of early playoff exit and perennial playoff failure. Keep speaking and keep offering opinions. And we've been sitting on this for a little while now. You know, we definitely wanted to wait till the Super Bowl was over with because we wanted to give our props to some of these players. But now we're going to get deep into the Dallas Cowboys here. And again, for a team that embarrassed themselves at home, seems to have a lot to say in the postseason. So let's start off with an article. And again, we didn't see the First Take episode, but this is an article from an Anthony Licciardi from February 8th of this year. Burnt out. DeMarcus Lawrence reveals the reason for the Cowboys' playoffs loss. The Dallas Cowboys season came to an abrupt end in the wild-card round against Green Bay Packers. DeMarcus Lawrence revealed what went wrong on the ESPN show First Take. The Dallas Cowboys are one of the 30 teams watching the Super Bowl on Sunday rather than participating in it. This season's wildcard collapse was as painful as ever, getting blown out at home by the first number 7 seed to ever win an NFL playoff game. That alone should have the Cowboys just go to a corner, sit down, shut up. Continuing on, the loss had Dallas's future hanging in balance, warming the temperature of head coach Mike McCarthy's seat and prompting off-season conversations about what all-in really means for a Jerry Jones-owned team. Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence joined a championship edition of First Take on Thursday and commented on his team's playoff catastrophe. Quote, "All honesty, I think the main thing is we was burnt out," Lawrence said. "Long season, team is dominantly healthy throughout the season. The legs get tired." Okay. Let's get our thoughts together here, folks. We'll say it again. Quote, "All honesty, I think the main thing is we was burnt out," Lawrence said. "Long season, team is dominantly healthy throughout the season, and the legs get tired." Right. Despite his disclaimer, Lawrence's answer seems less than actionable. Nobody is hoping the Cowboys face more injuries next year, nor is being tired an acceptable excuse for being embarrassed on national television. Lawrence, having spent a decade in the biggest media spectacle of the sport, knows the drill. Sport debate shows aren't necessarily a place that candidly reflects on one's performance. He did, however, give credit to the Green Bay Packers, who went on to scare the lights out of San Francisco 49ers before crumbling in the divisional round. But also, you got to give hats off to the Green Bay. They came out with a great game plan, rolling towards Micah and running away from me. I feel like that's what they needed to get their game started, and they jumped on us fast. The Packers made a point to eliminate Micah Parsons, and we have some words on him, from the game and were successful. Dallas' defense struggled with the physicality of Green Bay's ground game, and quarterback Jordan Love had one of the best playoff games in recent memory. His first playoff start, by the way. The Packers jumped out early, 27-0, and didn't look back, winning 48-32. They were outplayed and woefully outcoached, though Lawrence softened the blow. Quote, "Adjustments, man," he said. "I feel like we went into the locker room and we came out ready with our adjustments, but still didn't go all the way. It still didn't go the way we planned it to go." Man, what? The man presumably making those adjustments, defense coordinator Dan Quinn, has left to be the head coach of the Washington Commanders, open the door for a new face to lead a unit with some of the most dynamic playmakers in the sport. Getting his hire right, which turned out to be Mike Zimmer, we're actually going to touch on that, is paramount to optimizing talents like Lawrence and Parsons, and ensuring the rest of the defense can compete with the offense that have widened the gap between the NFC's elite and its perpetual playoff fodder. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the legs got tired. The legs got tired. Really? This is what we're paying a guy top-tier money for. The legs got tired. Folks, the Kansas City Chiefs have been playing in at least AFC Championship games, as we just mentioned this, for the last, 6 seasons? Have their legs gotten tired? Because the Cowboys, in some cases, have not even made the playoffs in those span, bounced out in the first round, and they're going to sit there and tell me that the legs got tired. But the Chiefs have been playing until February, including the extra week now with the 17th game. So further into February, does Chris Jones look tired? Does Patrick Mahomes look tired? But a defensive man is telling me how, one of their captains, by the way, the legs got tired. So getting your ass kicked at home, your legs got tired. Folks, when you wonder why the Cowboys have playoff struggles, these are some of the reasons why. And these are your captains talking. Let's move along to another person who just always seems to just have to talk, and we don't know why. Micah Parsons. Brother, Micah, we love you. We really do love you. But at some point, you need to just stop. You're commenting on everything. You have something to say. And yet, when it comes to playoff wins, I believe we only got 1 sack in the playoff wins and maybe a few tackles here and there. You're lining up. They're running right at you in the team. And you always have something to say. You have something to say about TJ Watt, whether you have him in your top 5 pass rushers. You're doing your podcast. And yet, we don't have the playoff success to back up this attention. You've done great for us in the regular season, and you have no bigger fan than us. But what we do here at Chin Check Sports Radio is we're going to speak the truth despite our fandom and despite our love for the team. Micah Parsons, brother, you really need to stop. But where do we dissect this? Again, making comments about TJ Watt, some people look at it as putting it in a proper context. But then we see you on a podcast with the same aforementioned Jordan Love, who you asked Jordan Love, what was your strategy to beat us in the game? And Jordan Love says, we knew to run right at y'all because you guys have safeties playing linebacker and we ran right at y'all. Sitting next to the man having this conversation. Now, you should have been in the weight room working out. You should have been doing something. Again, you got bounced in the playoff round, which you did nothing in that game. The highlight of the game was getting cracked in the chest. And you're sitting next to the guy that beat the brakes off of y'all and just sitting there cool, nonchalant, and trying to figure out what was the game plan where everybody from watching from the planet Mars can know that the way to beat the Cowboys is line up and run right at them, even including you. So there's another article that came from Mike Fisher, February 11th, 2024. Cowboys, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb admit to culture problems in Dallas. I need to grow up. While this Super Bowl in Las Vegas is mostly about the combatants, the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Cowboys. So during Super Bowl week, a major storyline has been what's wrong with the Cowboys. And a frank CeeDee Lamb may have just offered the best answer of all, with Micah Parsons hopefully following up accordingly as a commenter on the lack of accountability and discipline. First and foremost, I do need to grow up, Lamb said. First and foremost, Lamb said, I do need to grow up. Didn't we say this in the wild card game when they made a comment, as Greg Olsen said that the synergy was weird between CeeDee and Dak Prescott, and Mike McCarthy had to have a conversation with CeeDee Lamb to get his head in the game. In a playoff game, ladies and gentlemen, in a playoff game, I need to grow up. CeeDee Lamb, you've been in the league since 2020. You know the stakes. At some point, you're going to want top-tier receiver money. Not saying you don't deserve it. At Chin Check Radio, one of our bedrock principles is paying the athletes. We don't have a problem with that. But CeeDee, you're going to want top-tier money, and you're talking about that you need to grow up. What does that tell me? Somebody who has not grown up without the money, what's going to happen when they get money? Just a thought. Continuing on. There are plenty of ways for me to handle different situations, said the All-Pro receiver via Parsons, the Edge broadcast. Me being mad is not one of the answers. I know this, I just feel like that's contagious. I can be more of a leader. I can be more vocal. If I'm going to take this label as being a leader, there's times where I have to get out of my shell, get out of my comfort zone. Interestingly, Parsons chimed in. We need to have way more accountability. I just think we let things slide too often because we know we're good. That's all about me. I want to change the culture. I want to change the identity of what the Cowboys are. Good heavens. Continuing on. The article continues to say it's good call, but All-Pro defender Micah Parsons added, cut the extra stuff out. I just want people to lock in for 22 weeks. 7 months can change your life, and I'm ready. The irony, of course, is Micah issued his statement while being deeply involved in the extra stuff as his comments were delivered via his Radio Row studio here in Las Vegas at the Super Bowl. Lamb used the occasion to clear up the controversy created by his own mother, who used social media to suggest the Cowboys trade Dak Prescott's ass. We actually tend to agree. Responded Lamb with clarity. I have no beef with my quarterback. I love my dog. He knows that. Dak can definitely lead us to a Super Bowl. He just also needs other leaders. That's why I'm pointing at myself. I can help him. He's already got so much on his plate. I got to step it up. You got to step it up. Everybody has to step it up. We all got to look in this mirror. We all have to deal with it. Folks, these are team leaders of the Dallas Cowboys talking about having to grow up. Accountability, leadership. Let me say this again. These are Dallas Cowboys team leaders in DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb talking like this. These are guys in CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons who are going to command top dollar from Jerry Jones in another 2-3 years or so. It's going to happen. CeeDee Lamb is going to get top wide receiver money. Micah Parsons is going to get top defensive player money. And this is what they're talking about I need to grow up. I can't get angry. I mean, folks, when you wonder why the Cowboys have had playoff struggles in the last couple years, folks, I give you Exhibit Parsons. I give you Exhibit Lamb. I give you Exhibit Lawrence. And all the exhibits would exhibit Dak and exhibit Mike McCarthy. We're not going to put this on Jerry Jones. I'm going to put this on the players because your leaders, your best player on defense, your best player on offense, are talking about them having to grow up in accountability and not have to be a better leader. You didn't figure this out beforehand. Your other captain, DeMarcus Lawrence, talking about the legs got tired. Are you serious? Ladies and gentlemen, is Patrick Mahomes talking that his legs got tired? Really? Did Tom Brady ever talk about his legs got tired? Really? Really? Like, is this what we're doing? Folks, and you definitely hear this coming out of us, and I want you to hear it. Cowboys fans that's listening, really? Folks who live in Dallas, call these folks out. The Dallas, the Fort Worth, the Irving area, the Arlington area, that whole Dallas metroplex, metro area, whatever you want to call it. And we've gone to games in Dallas, so we know what we're talking about here. We've done tournaments in Dallas. We know what we're talking about here. Folks, call these guys out on this nonsense. We need to grow up. Are you serious? Stuff like this, when they want some money, show them this stuff. And another thing, Micah Parsons, why do you have a podcast? Why you want about your podcast? Does Patrick Mahomes have a podcast? Because I see making plays. The San Francisco 49ers don't see Fred Warner with one. Don't see Ufonga with one. Don't see none of their stalwarts with one. Don't see none of that. But the Cowboys players got time to be on podcasts talking about leadership and accountability and doing this and doing that. And then you wonder why. And folks, understand this, Cowboys fans. These are some of the reasons why they're not achieving the level of postseason success that it need to be. They're underachieving. And we see this. The legs got tired. We have to grow up. We can't be mad. We can't this. We can't that. I mean, damn. Really? Really? I want Dallas Cowboys, y'all listen to this broadcast, y'all cut the nonsense out. Because while you're watching the Detroit Lions, who made it to an NFC Championship game since the last time y'all made it to an NFC Championship game, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. You're watching Patrick Mahomes winning postseason games on the road against from top to bottom, better teams. I'm going to say this again. You see Patrick Mahomes winning ball games on the road in the playoffs and in Super Bowls against better rosters, and y'all, the Dallas Cowboys, are getting blown out at home by basically young players and a quarterback making his first start. Are you serious? Patrick Mahomes just went on the road and beat a Josh Allen, the two-time MVP, and Lamar Jackson, and literally a roster littered with all pros from top to bottom in the San Francisco 49ers. By the way, the Green Bay Packers had no Pro Bowlers on that squad, and they wiped the floor with you in Dallas. And every time you turn around, some damn Cowboys player has something to say. Cowboys fans, this is why you come to us with it, because we're going to call this stuff out. It is getting utterly ridiculous. We're tired of hearing these guys talk, but yet we don't see the postseason success. We are sick and tired of it. Call these guys out, folks. Well, folks, you definitely want to do this broadcast. Again, if you want to shoot us an email. Our email address is going to be chinchecksportsradio@gmail.com. Once again, that's chinchecksportsradio@gmail.com. And until the next time, it's Chin Check Radio. Signing out.